Welcome to our new program, 401k Real Chat. This is Fred Barstein, contributing editor for wealthmanagement.com's RPA Edge and CEO at TRowe, TPSU, and 401k TV. I invite the most interesting, innovative, and impactful retirement and wealth management professionals that I know, asking them to provide open, honest, and candid answers to three important and at times difficult questions. So let's get real. So this week, we invited, our guest is Kevin Collins, who is the head of retirement plan services at T Rowe Price. Kevin has spent, looks like his entire career, 28 years at T Rowe Price, various roles. And he's also a governing board member at the Spark Institute. So welcome, Kevin.
Thanks, Fred. It's great to be here.
So the first question that we have is, T Rowe is very well known as a mid and large market record keeper, but less known in the smaller, mid-sized RPA sold markets. Tell us a little bit about your initiatives, and then also, how do you compete against the Fab Five, that have 10 million plus participants?
Sure. Thanks, Fred. I would really start by saying, if you know anything about T Rowe, we're very deliberate in what we do strategically. So we've been investing in the small kind of RPA market over the last 5+ years. We added Mike Schamberger, who's an industry veteran, to bring him in to design our products and start to build out a sales force. We added Lynn Roy, who's an expert in the TPA space, about 2 years ago. And we really have been building out our distribution capabilities during that time. We've seen growth that we've been happy with, about over 1,000 plans a year. And as we look going forward, Fred, we're going to look to almost double that sales force over the next 2 to 3 years. So this has been a deliberate strategic investment by the retirement plan services business here at T Rowe, and one we're going to continue to push forward into. We look at this market as an attractive market, and one that actually has been wanting T Rowe to be in for many years, and now we're here, and we're looking forward to being a big part of it.
And how many wholesalers do you have external in the field?
Sure, we have 17 externals. We also have an additional 6 hybrids that are in the marketplace. So when I talked about doubling, we want to have about 30 territories that are covered by a combination of externals and or hybrids.
Right. And so when you come up against, the Fab Five, the Empowers and the Voyas and the Principals, that have, established relationships with lots of advisors and selling, lots of plans, even Hancock and Transamerica, what's the competitive advantage of that you see and why advisors are working with you?
Yeah, retirement plan advisors tell us that what they really want is a reliable, brand recognized provider that provides high level of service to their clients and to them going forward. That's who we are. That's who we've been. So that's one reason why we think we're a really good fit. Regarding the Fab Five, the Fab Five to me is really, a lot of that's driven by their size and their scale. We've taken a slightly different approach. We partner with FIS, who we just announced recently, and have a long-standing relationship with SS&C also. So we borrow our scale and actually lean into our strengths with advisors to bring service, investment management, and record keeping forward.
Right. Which that leads into our second question of, and we asked Ed Murphy from Empower, do you have to own the front end and the back end? And obviously the front end is very important, and you have a very robust front end that you develop for the mid and large market, and have been in that market for quite a bit of time. Ed's argument was, I got to own the back end because when I have initiatives and when I do acquisitions and when I want to make changes, I don't want to be in the queue. I want to have control of that back end, as opposed to be dependent on someone else. So do you really, can you compete and when you borrow the back end, and if so, why?
Yeah, we think you can, but we really agree that owning the client experience is critical.
Right.
And in our model, we own that client experience, whether that's for an advisor, a plan sponsor, or for our participant. I think you're seeing a whole shift in operating models in the retirement industry right now. We've gone through consolidation at the record keeping level, and now we're seeing those record keepers that want to stay in the business, not and grow organically, which is our strategy. We're not looking to do acquisition. We found a model that we think works well, and really the model isn't new to financial services. We've seen it in banking, transfer agency, insurance for many years. I think retirement was probably just the last one that it's finally kind of pushed into, probably one of the more regulated ones, and that's maybe what delayed it. But I think you're going to see this model really grow in the marketplace over the next 2 to 3 years. And there are some real benefits with it. We talked about borrowing scale earlier, but some of my partners, and I'll use FIS as an example, Global FinTech has unique capabilities in banking, digital payments, wealth, security, that I actually can accelerate bringing some of those capabilities to market faster than I ever could myself. So I get not only operating scale, I get capability scale. And I think that's really what the marketplace is looking for as we compete on that digital technology experience.
Yeah, and to your point, one of the Fab Five, Vanguard, actually has outsourced. I think it's to Infosys as well. So it seems like it is a bit of a growing trend. I know that for acquisitions, it might be more important, but that's not really your model, right? Doing acquisitions.
No, that's not our model. And we were about a little over a year into our transition on the FIS side. And we've been able to bring new technologies to both the small end of the market, the RPA end of the market, and our traditional large market. New technologies in security, new digital payment capabilities. So we're excited about how the new operating model and how it's going to really allow us to maintain a high level of service and bring new capabilities to market faster.
So, final question is: there's a lot of talk about how record keepers and advisors who work together to sell the plan and service the plan could be at odds and competing when it comes to servicing the participant and offering them, for example, wealth management services, rollover services. Certainly, a lot of the, almost all of the Fab Five are offering that Empower with Personal Capital and Fidelity and Vanguard, huge names in the retail. Does TRowe support the wealth management initiatives of advisors? Because TRowe is also a brand, and you're in the market, and you're in the retail brand as well, dealing directly with investors. Are you supportive of that? And if so, can you give us some examples of what you're doing?
Sure. I think what we've seen, and we've been watching, clearly been in the market for quite a long time, and have been watching this transition with the aggregation that's happened in the advisor space, the merging of retirement and wealth advisors, Fred. And we've really baked that into our strategic model. We are actively working with advisors to integrate their services, whether that be point-in-time advice, whether that be advisor-managed accounts, financial wellness offerings, into our digital experiences, both web and desktop. So the participant, when they come into a plan that may be serviced by both TRowe and that advisor, they're seeing all the services that are available from TRowe and the services that are available from those advisors. We want to make sure we're maximizing the return on investment for that plan sponsor and bringing forth some really good capabilities that we've seen developed in the advisor community. We've recently expanded it just first of access, like real estate in our digital platforms, to now targeted messaging to bring those services forward to individuals where wellness may be the right solution that we're actually promoting through digital targeting to participants, those wellness solutions. So we're really excited about where that would go. Our new technology has allowed us to do that, and we're going to continue to look at ideas on how to bring that together.
So one of the key issues with this is data and sharing data and the participant. There's a lot of issues around privacy and sensitivity. How do you deal with that when advisors, want to work with the participants with, plans that are on your platform?
Sure. Yeah, data and privacy continues to be a huge focus for everybody in the industry, plan sponsors, record keepers, advisors. We work in a pretty structured way where we have an approval process that we work with the advisor and the plan sponsor to authorize us to share the data that the sponsor is comfortable with. And I think what we're starting to see, and part of this is our new technology infrastructure, our ability to share that data will only be enhanced going forward. Historically, it's been data feeds, once a month. The future is going to be API connections with better security that allows advisors and wealth shops to actually access the data real time to meet the needs of those participants if they're working with them.
So I know there was a recent article on wealthmanagement.com by Tim Rowe and Mike Headley about whether data is a plan asset. And, the concern is there'll be a lot of repercussions if there was. But as you said, they suggested, well, there has to be an agreement on how that data is being used. So what I'm hearing you say is, as long as there is an agreement, and the plan sponsors and everybody knows, and we're dealing with it, you're willing and open and want to share that data with advisors.
Absolutely. It's about doing it in a controlled way where there's complete transparency and everyone's aware of what information is going where.
Right. And you're direct, you're out there in the market a lot, plus, retail. Do you have a referral system either from participants who are saying, hey, I need help, I want to talk to someone, or even plan sponsors who are saying, hey, I'm looking for an advisor, do you know anyone? How do you does that come across, and how do you handle that?
Right. When we get a request from a participant, to your point, we do have a direct business, Fred. So, but we've really built the retirement business here at TRowe to not rely on that participant relationship to make our business model work. So that's why we're really integrating with the investment staff. And the reception from the advisor community has been fantastic. I think this is where we are differentiating ourselves a bit from others, and are going to your point about referrals. Like we want to engage with the advisors and work with them to bring whatever solution they want and the sponsor wants forward. So if we get to the point where a participant calls up, wants to know who we should work with, who they should work with from an advisory perspective, they're going to see that on the digital platforms. Our phone center will tell them that their plan has a relationship with advisor X, and we'll work to get that over to them.
Well, thanks, Kevin. Those are all the questions I had for now. Thanks for joining 401k Real Chat, and thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more guests like Kevin. Thank you.
Thanks, Fred. Appreciate it.